All right, Math 4 students, this is just a quick little video going over the section that I want you to work on independently tomorrow, Wednesday, August 26th, I think. I don't know. I don't keep track of the days very well ever since my coronacation started. Basically, I'm going to want you to go over the sets section and do a little bit of homework from there. Today in class, we definitely talked about sets and we talked about some of the terminology and the notation and stuff that we use when dealing with sets. There's a couple other things I want to add to it, and then for anybody who might have missed class, I want to cover some of these things as well. So, first of all, set notation. Well, you know what, let's just talk about sets for a second. A set is just a collection of some sort of objects. It could be numbers, it could be anything really, and each object in the set is called an element. Each piece is an element of a set. So if I were to talk about the set of whole numbers, the set of whole numbers is 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. It's no negatives, it's no decimals, it's no fractions. That is my set of whole numbers. And I would say that 4 is a element of the set of whole numbers. Now, and then that's what that fancy little E over here means. That just means that 15 is an element of set N, which in this case is 13, 14, 15. Okay? So there's going to be different statements that are just going to ask, is this true, is this false? Is G in the set of vowels? Is it an element of the set of vowels? Well, the set of vowels is A, E, I, O, U. G is not one of those, so we would say this is not a true statement. That's why it's not an element of the vowels. And you can do the same thing with the months. You can do the same things with the numbers on a die or dice. And then also, we have something called subsets. This was not something that we discussed in class, so I want to make sure that you understand subsets. A subset is a smaller section of the elements in a larger set. So for me personally, I drive a Ford Ranger. Now, we could have a set of things called pickup trucks, and Ford Rangers, or even just Ford in general, would be a subset of that larger group called pickup trucks. I hope that makes sense. Now, the universal set is the set of all possible elements for a situation. So that would be like the pickup truck situation. If I'm talking about pickup trucks, the universal set is all pickup trucks. A subset would be like Fords, and then a smaller subset of that even would be like Ford Rangers instead of like an F-150 or F-150 or whatever. All right. Now, this next piece down here, complement. Yeah, they're just the things that are not in the smaller subset. It's really not that important, honestly. The next thing that's sort of interesting is identifying subsets and complements of sets. So a subset. Oh, and there was a symbol for that. The symbol for a subset is the sideways U. So this thing over here, we would say that B is a subset of A. That's what that little symbol right there means. Okay. All right. So next thing, identify subsets and complements of sets. So, like for this first one right here, state whether B is a subset of A is true or false. Well, let's take a look. A is 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. They're saying B is 5, 7. Well, 5, 7 is in A, so B is a subset. It is a smaller group taken out of our bigger group. So that would be a true statement. Also, 5 is an element of A, 7 an element of A. Therefore, all the elements of B are also elements of A. Therefore, B is a subset of A. This is kind of how mathematicians talk, and it gets a little confusing sometimes. And then the little apostrophe thing just means complement. So A apostrophe, they're just asking what are the elements of our universal set, that are not a part of A. So if our universal set is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and A is 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. The numbers that are not in A are 0, 2, 3, and 6. Again, not super important. What's probably the most important is this idea of union and intersection. Now, the union of sets in A and B would be everything in set A and B. So the best way to think about this is kind of like this Venn diagram here. So if we look at R and S, these are two separate sets. Everything in R and S together is the union of those two sets. And you only have to write each number one time. So you don't have to double up on it. So like if you're looking at R and U over here, well, U has 1, 2, 3, 4, R has 2, 4, 6. So you don't actually have to write like 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6. You just write it one time. I would just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. So it's just everything in both sets. That's the union. The intersection, though, which we can see on this Venn diagram, is what do they share? What do they both have in them? And that's on a Venn diagram, the overlapping parts. So again, an element is talking about individual things inside of a set. A subset is a smaller group of elements within a set. The complement of something is the numbers that are not in that subset but are in the larger set. And then intersection is where the sets overlap each other. The union is everything included in both sets together.